What's up, everyone? This is the first time I use the Stylecraft Mythic, and I would say I like it overall. It's a good clipper. I'm coming from the wall cordless senior, and I wanted to try this out for a few reasons. One of them being I sold my cordless Andis Master, which was my backup clipper, and I wanted to have. I always want two clippers on hand just in case you drop one mid haircut, one breaks mid haircut. You never know. Runs out of battery or something, even though I have a charging stand, but you never know. And then the other reason is I wanted a quieter clipper than the senior. Well, it's kind of like a thing where if I'm gonna get two clippers, I don't want two clippers that are very similar. I want to have a little bit of variety there. So I wanted to get a magnetic motor clipper, which the Wall Senior is not. The Corley Senior is a rotary motor, which are generally stronger and have more torque than magnetic motor clippers. The Stylecraft Mythic is basically the Stylecraft X, or excuse me, the Gamma X Ergo with a like a metal body and a different like lever and possibly a different blade. I'm not sure. Um, the difference between the regular Gamma Ergo and the Gamma X Ergo is this one has an updated chip, which apparently raises the voltage to the motor, so it makes it a little bit more powerful. And I never used the Ergo, but I did use the 50 cal, which uses the same motor as the regular Ergo, and this definitely feels more powerful than the 50 cal. And so the haircut I'm doing right now, it felt like I handled bulk very similar to how a Wall Senior would handle a bulk. And to me, the Wall Corley Senior is the best besides the detachable for bulk, because I've had the Andis Master and the Wall Senior, and I would say they're both really close, about the same. I don't know who I would give the edge to. I complete the whole haircut probably faster with the Carlos Senior over the Andis Master, just because I think I'm better at fading with it. But in terms of bulk, I would say those two are the best. But for this haircut, it wasn't a crazy overgrown cut. It wasn't like a 6 months haircut. It was about a month and a half, I think, since the last time I cut it. So it wasn't like a 2 week haircut, which you're not really debulking, you're just refading, if that makes sense. This was more like I had to bring the shape back and then fade it, as opposed to like if it was 6 months, you're basically creating the whole thing, and those take a little bit longer, in my opinion. And that really puts the pressure on the motor, and it'll pull the hairs if you're going too fast or if the motor isn't strong enough. So I don't know how this motor would handle that situation, but in terms of a haircut like this, which I think is my most common haircut, is like a month and a half. 2 weeks ones are, I can't imagine it'd be worse with that. I'd definitely be better with those, but I would say this is my most common type of haircut. And I'm fading to a number one, so I don't get the experience with the actual fade blade against the skin on this haircut. I usually do give this client a bald fade or a bald taper, so one of them, but depending on what we're feeling then, but what the client is feeling. But he wanted to go a little bit more conservative today, so the lowest I go is with a number one. I never used the guards that came with this clipper, mainly because right when I opened it, it was so hard to tell. Like, I knew by looking at them, I wouldn't be able to tell really quickly which guard is what am I using. And I like being able to see which guard I'm using immediately, because when I first started cutting, like initially I was using the Oster guards, actually, which were trash, the worst guards, but quickly went to the Andis Master, the double magnetic, and while I liked how they snapped on, it was really hard like to see what guard I was using. I mean, as I got like more experience, it got a little easier because I could just kind of tell by the size, but the number was so hard to see, and because they're magnetic, you couldn't really put them like in a case that easily. And the way I had my setup, I didn't really have anything to hold them all in a row in a magnet or whatever. But I mean, regardless, I like using the guards that I can quickly see what I'm using, which is why I like using the fake wall premium guards, you know, the ones that you can get on Amazon or eBay or whatever. And they're basically the clones of the premium wall guards, which I really like. The only downside of the actual wall guards is they're only come in black, and while the print is a little easier to read than the Andis guards or the guards that this clipper came with, the colors are just make it way better. I don't know why every company is using colored guards. It just that doesn't make any sense to me why you would not use color guards. Like I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. Um, but yeah, another thing for this clipper, I got a click lever. I this clipper, by the way, this cut is completely stock. I used the blade it came with. I think it's a wedge blade. I can't even remember, to be quite honest. Um, and I mean, I don't think it makes that much of a difference what blade you use if you're not using just a blade. I mean, I know there's technically a slight difference, but I don't really think you're gonna notice a difference, so I can't tell yet. But it did cut fine. Like it wasn't pulling. I asked him like, was it cut pulling? I tried going through the hair really fast, and he had no complaints. And it was definitely a lot quieter than the Wall Senior, and that's the huge benefit. You know, I just sold my cordless Andis Master because it was so loud, and I'm completely satisfied with the cordless Wall Senior, but I don't want to have just one clipper because you accidentally drop your clipper, it just stops working, you don't have it charged. You always want to have at least one backup. And if I'm going to get a backup, I wanted to get something different. You know, I considered getting like a corded clipper as a backup, or a wall magic clip, the cordless magic clip as a backup. You know, I considered a lot, to be honest, of different clippers. But I came down to is like I want something that's different than the Wall Senior, just so because now that I got two, I can still use both at the same time. Well, if one fails, I could just use one. So like I wanted to have some different functionality. So I wanted a click lever. I've never used a clipper with that, so I wanted to see how that goes, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty fun to use, and I needed to get more haircuts in with it to really gauge if it makes much of a difference. But I mean, I enjoyed using it on this cut, and then also this clipper, I plan on switching it to the Andis system, so I can have one clipper on the Andis guards and one clipper with the wall guards. And what I mean by switching to the Andis system, this clipper, you can change the top blade, and you can also change the cutting blade, but you can change the top blade to an Andis what's it called, the Andis still blade, so that you can put the Andis guards on there. And the reason why I want to go to Andis is I want to be able to use a purple magnetic guard just for something different. You know, if I'm cutting and I want to change it up one day or whatever, I can have another guard. I can have another system I can go by, or you know, maybe if I'm finishing a whole cut with the Senior, I can detail with that, or vice versa. Just something that I I I completely understand that it's unnecessary. I can do the whole haircut with one clipper, but like I said, I want one backup clipper, and if I have a backup, I might as well have it be something where I can, you know, have a double purpose. I can use it for something else as well. And yeah, so I'm gonna change the top blade. My plan is to make it with the Andis, and I can order a mod to make like from Filthy Blends to, I think, to be able to use this cutting blade. But I think what I want to use with a cutting blade is the Wall Magic Clip Stagger Tooth blade. I think I want to use that because I've never used a Stagger Tooth blade, and it just sounds like it's a cool idea, like that it cuts some of the hair shorter than the others. And yeah, and I like the clipper. It's really quiet, a little heavy, and I'm not sure if the heaviness is going to be a good or a bad thing yet. After doing one haircut, I could definitely see where it's like a little fatiguing maybe, but it was one haircut, so it wasn't too bad. Um, so we'll see how it goes. In that sense, maybe the Gamma X Ergo, which has the same motor, is better, but the lever supposedly, or I know it compared to the 50 caliber, which is complete plastic, feels a lot cheaper, and this feels solider. And because it's so heavy, I have no proof. I don't have like a sound test, but generally, like the thicker the material, the more it's gonna insert the sound. Because it's not gonna rattle, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be deadening the sound a little bit. And because it's metal, I think it makes it a little quieter. So, which is another benefit. Overall, great clippers so far. I'll keep you guys posted on what I think. The reliability to me is always a question with the Gamma and Stylecraft, just these newer clipper companies. So we're gonna have to see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next video.